Well, good afternoon. It's VindaCator here from iPlayMore.com. A quick reminder to go to YouTube and subscribe to us there. Follow me on Twitch. And on iPlayMore.com, go sign up for our video game test of Thunder. What's amazing is we have a new social media manager. And he said, you know, the first thing I'm going to do is redo your website. And I said, please. So bear with us. Hopefully this forum will still work. So I'm the game designer, producer, and developer for Thunder Throne Wars. Takes place right here. A little place called the Milky Way Galaxy. You might have heard of that place. You might even live here where it says sun. And if you got real good eyesight, no, I'm kidding. There's no way you can look down the screen arm and see the Stellar Jewel Box Nebula, but NASA, with a very expensive satellite can, and this is what they took a picture of, and this just kept coming up over and over and over again, and I said, man, that's where our game's got to go, and that's exactly what we did. So we've put our game there. All right, so we put our little planet there, planet Nebulous Prime, and we zoom in on it, and ta-da, reorganize land masses, because the team had a really good, comment, and that's that if you divide an arena in half and each side's got to load back and forth, that's just a lot of frustration for gamers. So I moved everything so everything's in the center of a development square. It also makes a lot of sense for the developers too, because then they're putting their maps that they're developing in the center. And then that left us with the lagger area and all this wonderful water world, even here. So I've got big plans for that, but that's all hush-hush. Secret stuff for later. And then the metagame, which means that as you win and lose arenas, it's not just wiped out and reloads. In fact, we're hoping to not have any loads. And here's my idea. So this is how you vote. Instead of, having 3 arenas at the top or the side like everybody does, and you pick one, and then whoever gets the most votes, everybody goes to. Well, hello, you're sending me, if I didn't vote for the arena, you're sending me one to one I didn't vote for. So my idea is that this screen comes up at the end, and then you pick where you want to fight. So if you want to, you're feeling hot and you want to go take this forever back, you're on the kin, you want to take it back, you just click there, and you go to where you vote. Much better idea. Until the server's full, of course. So, but anyways, this is a very early start of how it could work. And then when it's 12-12, so when it's tied, you can see there's nobody owns it. It's wide open. So, one more game here a win by either team is going to make it owned. So that's the kind of thing that we'll do. And of course, it's going to go crazy, and then we're going to have multiple servers. So we're going to figure all that stuff out. But it's exciting. And then the climate system. So I always kind of thought of Abyss Island as totally the whole thing hot and dry and arid, but then I thought, well, but the kin's there, so we could have a little bit of plant life. So this is actually going to end up being a lot easier map for us to develop. It's going to have a lot less of a hit, and I think this is going to go quite fast. So the one that we're working on now, so we're working on Intrepid and Excalibur, and we're working on Forever, those are going to go a lot slower, but I think that's fine. Better to go slow now. All right, so there's Bear Isle. This is done up by the professional map maker. I did ask him if he could do the whole world, and now I'm very glad that he didn't say yes, because we've changed everything. So this is what Bear looks like. So if you go back to the map, you can see here, I had the brood here. And then when we did this up, I'm like, how big is this? And he's like, well, it's about 7 kilometers, maybe 6 from the nose to the tail. I'm like, wow, that's really big. And then when we put it in the game, it was like, okay, that's way too big. So we moved the brood up to here. And so I just did all my gameplay tests right there. And the problem with Bear Isle is we used it for everything. First of all, we put textures on everything, the land and everything, which means because this new texture system is not one texture, it's 5 different textures on each thing. So the performance has gone way down. But I'm going to show you some revolutions I've been talking about for a while, but I got actually something to show, not in game, but some tests to show what's happening, what's coming in game, and actually it's there, but it's not in use yet. So there we go. So this is just to remind me that so we've got a red and blue sun that go around our planet, and so I actually, when we started doing Bear Isle, I actually put a red and blue sun in the sky, and then there was 2 shadows, and twice, it had a big hit on performance, and everybody's like, well, you can't do that. And so talked to Nikita, who's our lighting director, and I said, well, how can we do this? And he's like, well, you put the 2 things in the sky and you just use one white light, and so it looks normal to people, because red and blue looks really strange, because we're humans, we live on the Earth, we have a white sun, so red and blue suns look very alien to us, so too much. So anyways, that's how we dealt with that. All right, so here's our scoreboard. So we actually have somebody on the team. He's new, and so he's going to start helping with the HUD. We talked about the shields. I don't have an example, but the shields come out at different angles and stuff like that. He's like, oh yeah, I can do that. That's amazing. So this is the scoreboard. So if you push tab, or at the end of the game, this is the scoreboard. Now, something interesting happened in game. I want to bring this up, and that's this center column. You see that the character is on the throne behind there, but they're blocked by this center column. So what I want to do is have this throne move over to the winning side, so whichever side wins. So you just have to readjust the camera. Man, I can do that myself. So, note to self, there we go. Anyways, Shania did up all of these, and I think we're at a stage where we can just leave that. Excuse me. And so I put them over on the side as well. We've added the goal, so that means when you're going around and getting goals accomplished, you're going to get rewards for that as well. And so we're working on the crowns. So we had a team meeting, an art meeting, and we were talking about the crowns that we're going to put into here, and everybody had some great comments that it would be nice to see that this crown, for example, if it's the first one, has more. So I'm going to say it like an army, more stripes, because you can always tell who's the higher rank by the crest on their shirt, so to speak. So the same thing we're going to do with crowns. So we're working on that. So probably next week we'll begin, maybe the week after, we'll begin to show more of these crowns. These are just my little placeholder icons, so ignore that. And then I've been working on a team score document, because this is how you win and lose the game, not by personal points. You can see personal points are different here, but how you win the game is by personal points. So I have all that documented and all the math worked out and everything like that. So now I just have to make a document, because programmers don't want to read all the reason why. They just want to see the charts. So I'll do the charts for the programmer, and then for the people that do this, the HUD, the layout, the score, the UMG as it's called, they will get more of the explanation. So that's how that's going to work. The market exchange. Now take a good look at Zach's face. So this is how you put your stuff on the character. So you're going to have, when you purchase your stuff, it'll all be in your inventory, and then you'll put it on your character, and then it won't be in your inventory anymore. And all these things have, you see this, all these devices have these empty slots. So if this is a common device, all the slots are going to be closed. As it becomes more rare, so everything increases in rarity and value over time, these slots will open up, and the same with all of your gear, everything. And so that's when you're out collecting stuff, or you get yourself a marmoset, pygmy marmoset, and he's running around collecting things. You're going to have all kinds of slots to put that in. Of course, you can open up all these tabs too. And but this is, I always show things kind of as the start free level, how it's going to look if everything was common. So that's how that looks. And that's when you open up the little chest. You can see the chest here in the game open up. And that auto opens when you walk up to it. It auto opens. It's kind of cool. All right, so this is going to become obsolete, because this is Zach. We'll call him Zach 2.0, and Zach high definition Zach 3.0. I guess we'll call him. So his gear is going to be coming. So I've been talking to Zoran. So he's been doing some great things with that. No updates on Subflatus this week. So gonna redo the shoulder here, so it's a little different configuration, because people were talking about how the top one's gonna work, but the bottom one's gonna move back and forth as she swings her arm. So there's going to be a new design for that. Then we got some views. So this has gone out. Wednesday was the deadline, and I didn't get anything new. So this has gone out. There's another company, Vine, to do this. So we'll see. I've sent them Zoran's work and said this, if you're going to do this character, she's got to be done up at that level. So we'll see what happens. They might not have somebody at this level. So there's Zach's back and Zach in the front. So as you can see, he looks completely different than this. So that was Zach 2.0 and Zach 3.0. And we're going to be getting into real-time ray tracing as we do our vertical slice and cinematic work. So it's going to look really, absolutely amazing. And of course, he's going to have all his gear and everything on. It's going to be wonderful. So, product backlog done. Now, this really kind of mystery happened because our Scrum Master came to me and he says, let's meet tomorrow. And I said, okay, great. Or no, later today, I think it was. Yeah, and I booked a time and he has gone dark. He's totally disappeared. I don't know if he's in the hospital or what, but I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to let things run until about Tuesday, and then we might have to consider doing something else. Maybe bringing somebody else in to help with this. But anyways, it's great because I've got the product backlog done, the whole game. And usually when you do these things, when you get into like backlog number 3, it's things that, you don't really have to have. Unfortunately, everything in our product backlog we will do, and it's just the order we will do it. And this is not a typical game where it's done and, we abandon the team and we go our separate ways and, maybe make some different game or whatever after. No, it's all one thing, and we just keep going and developing it as we go. That's really the future of games, and that's what we're going to do here. And then I got the user stories done, which is just fantastic because it's saying it from the position of a gamer. Hello, Henrique. So, these user stories really help get the team involved in asking the right questions and get our things done. So I'm very excited about the level of development that's going to happen as we start bringing the Scrum into play. All right. So, boy, oh boy. No progress on my pitch, but we might not need it because I'm told that our financing, the distribution has begun. It's a fairly large distribution. The more I learn about this, the more I'm like, oh my goodness, we are a very small cog in a very large machine. So, but that is supposed to be started last Friday and going through into this next week. Of course, it's a long weekend. Of course, it has to fall on a long weekend. So that slowed things down a little bit. But so I don't think we're going to need my pitch, but we've started it. We've edited it. So there we go. And then just talking about some other forms of funding that we're going to be going to, the Indie Fund, a little bit about it, the Epic Mega Grant, which is $100 million, was $5 million before. I can't believe that $5 million fund lasted a long time. And these guys have also sent a grant along to the Blender, which is a 3D program, one that Henrique uses, and probably the most thing that you see in our game. And so that's really exciting. So Blender's going to be updated and plugging into Epic or Unreal Engine. So that's a really good news for us and for you as gamers and where we're going with all this stuff. And just a little bit about that. Pretty simple form to fill out. Once we have the vertical slice done, we will be pitching to publishers. So it's a list of publishers. And always remind me that Epic Games is a publisher. They would probably have the most interest in what we're doing because we're using their game engine. Making a first-person shooter, which is really, if it wasn't for Quake and first-person shooters, we probably wouldn't be having this discussion about this game engine. The Nature in Village says very nice with a thumbs up. Thank you. Oh, he's on YouTube. All right. Nice to see this chat is working. I was having some interesting times. So here's the other thing that we've been talking about is, let me say it this way. Just use some random numbers. So a video game company goes out, talks to a publisher, gets $30 million. They spend $10 million on a cinematic, and then they give you 2/3 of a game to play after you watched a 5-minute video, which has nothing to do with the game. And what I want to do is, because now we can produce television inside the Unreal Engine. I mean, we're making a video game, and I think the video game is the most important thing. But why make a stinking cinematic that has nothing to do with the game when we can make a cinematic in the game engine and, so instead of our vertical slice just being a playable thing, it can be actually watched. And then we write a 12-episode story arc. We write a pilot script. And then I've got a executive TV producer who's very, very successful, retired, very wealthy. And he goes and he pitches Amazon, Netflix, and HBO. And we make 12 episodes so you can binge watch this and then go play the game, and you're in the exact same place. You see the exact same characters, hear the same voices. It's all one thing. So I think that's a much better plan. Build up our mailing list and do Kickstarter. So I keep getting asked all the time. The team's like, oh, let's do Kickstarter. Everybody's doing Kickstarter. What about those guys? They did Kickstarter. Crowdfunding. Let's make some money. And it's a wonderful thing to say, but I've done the research. And unless you have a crowd, you can't crowd fund. So, we need, I don't even know how many people we need on the list, but the goal is 50,000 because then we can pick any publisher that we want. So the good news is I have just contracted a social media manager, and he's already working on developing the website, and then he's going to do all of our social stuff. So it's fantastic. And this is kind of an interesting thing. I was watching GDC, and I'm like, hold on a second. We're making arenas with a competitive multiplayer game, and then you can go explore the open world and get quests. And I've played both of these, and I'm realizing, well, hey, we're doing both of these. And I love this idea because instead of it being canned, so the game designer decides how long you have an intense battle, and then how long you spend, doing something more relaxing. In our game, the player decides. You play this intense competitive multiplayer game. When you've had enough of that, you go do some exploring, or you just explore because you don't want the intense game. And I love that idea that you're in an open world and you can just decide exactly what you want to do. So I'm laughing at myself because this said million last week, and I'm looking at it going, that can't be right because you said million. So I fixed that. So here's where we are. So 2018, so this is last year. So mobile was up 25%. This is a booming marketplace. And so we're going to make an app with our game and look at the PC market. Now I'll go into this year. PC last year was still in a growth of 1.6, which is funny because everybody's like, oh, PC gaming is going to die. Well, we add these two markets together, which is $103 billion, and we target 75% of the market with this game that we're making. So I think that's pretty smart. Now, this is this year, which is not finished yet, but look at mobile. It's 10.2%, so it's slowed down. It's about half the speed, which makes sense. As it matures, it's going to slow down. But look at the PC market. Already so far this year, 4% year-to-year growth. So it's just amazing. So now, here's some revolutionary stuff. So this is from Zoran, and congratulations, Zoran. He is a new uncle, new baby boy, born to his brother. Well, it's obviously his brother's wife had the baby. And so Zoran is at the hospital right now. And so I just passed along our love and to give her congratulations kiss and say, congratulations on your baby from our team. So anyway, so this is what he's got done. This is actually in the Intrepid version of our game right now. So if you grab those assets, if you're on our team and you grab those assets, you're going to have this. He's going to do some videos on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week to teach us how to use it. So yeah, isn't that great news? So so this is aluminum. This is gold. He did leather. He did cloth. Now, if you zoom into this, it does look like cloth. He hated this cloth. He says it's got to be redone. And I can swear to you that this leather material, when you put your face right up to it, it just gets more detail, detail, just like real life. So this is some brilliant stuff. And what's great about this, it's very performant. I mean, we have a fast-paced, open-world game, and we need performance squeezed out of everything. Characters, environment, everything. So, speaking of that, Henrique, better go look at my rivers, because maybe they need to be fixed. Lower the performance of them, as you did before. Okay, and then stained metal emulsion. So that looks really good. As you can see, that's right in the Unreal Engine. All right, so Henrique did the pit up for now just part of the pit. You can see it's just this area that all the rest of this has to be done. For Intrepid, and we actually got banishing working, so I'll maybe show that off a little bit. And then I banished one of my characters and realized, okay, I got them into the pit. There's no way to get them out. So I put in the shrine, the return to get out of there, some shield and a device. So that's for the kin side, and then for the brood side. And I put the red in just to kind of make it all match. Of course, the return is red, so it matches easily. All right. So here is our battle plan for Intrepid. So we're working right here on Intrepid. We're also working on Excalibur and Forever. So we have all three of these maps going for this landmass. But Intrepid is our main focus. And we're going to do a vertical slice polished at the fountain area. And so it looks like we might have to go to Unreal version 4.23 for us to do things like the land bridge to make it match and things like that. Also, real-time ray tracing has taken a big jump in its ability. So the lighting director's like, well, we got to jump up to 4.23. So, we got all these delays, and then we're waiting for the engine to update. Now, 4.23 has come out, but only 0.0, the first version of it. And I've been warned, never touch the first version of something until they have all the fixes out. So we always tend to wait for the 0.3 or 0.2 or whatever the last one is. Intrepid Fall Hall, so Henrique's got that done. Dress the pit objects. Okay, so I did talk to Ryan, R-I-O-N, and he's busy this week and this last week. And this weekend he said he would begin, and then we'll probably have it for next week. So that's great news for the pit dressing, for the vertical slice, for falling down. Oh, and the other thing I want to say too is we got the spider rigged. And so I like to have the spider on the wall. So I've already talked to Ryan, the other Ryan, R-Y-A-N. And sure helps if I can spell. Thank God they don't have the same spelling. So we're going to work on the spider. And so when Suiel gets banished in the cinematic to the pit, the spider will be on the wall. So keep an eye out for that. So the spider wasn't meant to be in there, but we got it done. We might as well do it. All right, so block out for Kin Castle done. Block out for Brood Fortress, that's done. Build out and test the multiplayer gameplay. So that's the next thing, and that's really where our goal is to get this level playable and multiplayer. I just got to say, when we did our first game, it was multiplayer right out of the gate, and I didn't realize how complicated Unreal is for going in multiplayer. Now, it makes sense why it is, but I'm old school. I didn't know that, so now I do. Art direction over blockouts, so that's going to be in progress probably this next couple weeks. Environmental, and the art direction for the blockout of the fountain has been fantastic. I've been able to look at that image. I'll show that in a couple seconds. And then you'll see the actual river work and water work I did in it, and trying to match that image as close as I can. And I had some real great breakthrough with that this morning, so we'll get into that a little later. So environmental development, the rest of Intrepid. So that's, like Maggie coming in and doing the trees and all that kind of stuff. And then finish the Intrepid pit, add puzzles and pit dressing. So there we go. And talking about Bane, so it looks like now, because Henrique's got that incredible ability to do the pits, that we'll do Bane with the same thing. We were doing blockouts, and it just seems to us that, and to the fellow that was doing it, that he really wants to model. He doesn't want to level design. So, and he's just doing blockouts. And when Henrique does it, it's like a finished product. A playable, fun, finished product with lots of thought and lots of twists and turns in the tunnels and all that kind of stuff. So he's the guy. I guess I always knew that. So just it's been clarified. Anyways, here's our Intrepid base map. So where everything goes and how it's going to lay out. So some good news here. So I got really inspired. It must have been, I don't know, Sunday last week. And I wrote the Story Master voiceover. And I really realized that, I'm asking writers to do this stuff, but they just don't have enough. I mean, sure, they're reading the character docs and all that kind of stuff, but they just don't have enough experience. Oh, I put a new picture in here, and I've already changed because this is all water stuff. Anyways, so this is how it's going to happen with the 12 bats, the hummingbirds, the marmoset. So all these models are ready except the phoenix, which is going to be in the sky, number 4. But we're going to have Zach, Suiel, the texture system, everything coming in this week. So it's going to be awesome. Awesome. And supposedly this texture system that Zorn has in there now, we can texture this building. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that and assign that to somebody. That's what... it's gonna jump in. So Joe did this. Adrian did this. Joe did this. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I've been copying this. I've been looking at this. You see how there's 4 waterfalls here, a waterfall here, waterfall here. There's 2 waterfalls here. Let's call this 2 waterfalls. So I've been able to duplicate that. And the other thing is look at how this bank kind of comes out. So I've been able to duplicate that, not 100%, but better. And then you can see there's a path here that you can walk underneath the waterfall. So I got all that done. And then I've got this extended water system done. So look at all that. So this is being modeled. Should be done soon. Henriky's going to be following up with that. Intrepid Kin Castle mood boards. Man, there's a lot of stuff to show. Concept art for the Kin Castle. It's going to be a little different now. So look at this. So you see Norn did this with the water and stuff like this. And then boom. Oh, no, that's not. Boom didn't work. Okay, forget that. I'll get to it. I guess I didn't line that up properly. And then for the Intrepid Village, but I did line this one up. So this is what the Marmoset Village looks like. And I did the layout just like that. I guess I should take the screenshot from the other side to make more sense. But I did the layout for that. So, and you can see the mountain just ends right here. So that's going to go into forever, the ocean, all that kind of stuff. So we've figured a lot of things out in this last little part. Okay, so this is what I got done today. So you can see that waterfalls all coming down. That's a little better view of it. So I just mixed the waterfall and river tools together to create these different looks and stuff like that. But you see how I've been able to kind of make this more 3D, and I got little pools of water. So it makes a lot of sense. Water comes down here, flows into this, flows through here, flows here, flows to here, goes down here. We're going to animate a little canoe, put it on here. Ryan, I said, hey, I want that animated for today. And he's like, I don't know how to put a bone in that boat because he needs a bone in the boat. So I thought it would be easy. So that's gone to the tow rigger. So you can see here, so we've got snowpack running into rivers, running into this step waterfall. So that was Wade's idea, really great idea. Got a river here, and look at the waterfalls here. There's even a waterfall up here. You can see a little better view of that. Oops. So this is behind the Kin Castle looking out. So this level's really coming along. Now this is very early stage. There is no textures, not one texture on here. Well, I guess this tree has a texture, but other than that. So, and these treetops were all missing. We did the art meeting, I didn't even notice. And I was in the level 10, I'm like, where's the treetops? So I found them anyways and put them back in. I guess because Kang did some changes and didn't realize that the tops of the trees didn't come along with those changes. I think because he's got a blueprint on the tree anyways. So from different points in the mountain, see where the rivers are coming from the snowpack. So this is what I'm talking about, the land bridge. We might have to wait for 4.23. I mean, we can do this texturing now, but to have this blend so that, because this is a different material, because that's a model and that's the landscape, right now, in 422, they're going to look different. But if you go to 423, there's a look blend tool. I don't exactly know what it's called, but it will blend that together. So there won't be this hard line there. So that's exactly what we want. So it looks like that's where we're going to go. Some more images. The Brood Fortress, I built this up. I ramped this up because this is this massive step that was too big for the character. Should probably do that here too, but I think what we got to do is make a hole here and put a model. And I just want to say, when we put the model here, we should probably do maybe like a lava. Yeah, maybe have the lava come and go around and come from behind with a lava waterfall here that you can go behind and then underneath this walkway. So it matches. I always like to have things kind of even. So, and then this is the way from the beach up through the mountains. There's a mountain pass here that to come to the Kin side. And then from the top looking down, just to see the whole layout. So very cool level, very happy with the development, and glad that I'm able to jump in and do some of this work. So I was able to do We've got some issues with some of the waterfalls, but this one actually worked. So I was able to put the one in. So anyways, there we go. And the Brood Fortress mood board. So some of the things that we want to have. So, I mean, it just looks absolutely amazing. So you're always going to know which side you are. And that's one thing. It's so funny about a lot of games. They make both sides exactly the same. And it's so confusing when you're a player. In our game, you're going up to the kin, down to the brood. Kin has water, brood has fire. It's just very simple to understand. The Intrepid summary document. So this is all the breakdown of the brood, of the Intrepid map. The Brood Fortress, the breakdown of it, how it's going to work. So as I said the last few weeks, the throne needs to be on the top level. The roof needs to open and close, and then on so imagine this is a pillar here or a bar that goes over the top or whatever. That's where the energy icon is, and so that's really important. That it's available to attack no matter if the roof is closed or not. All right, so this is a little bit of a layout to show where things go. So the geyser walk here. There's going to be a pit entrance here. There's also a pit entrance somewhere over here. So this is done before the rivers are in, as you can tell. Mud flats and the blasted valley. And so this is what the geyser walk's going to look like. A little bit of the layout for it. The Marmoset Ruined Village. And then Nikita sent in this, and so I asked him to put actually a phoenix-shaped hole in the roof, and so he tried to do that in a complex way, and he was having some difficulty, probably ran out of time. So, but I do want a little bit of warning for Nikita and for Henrique that his models are very high poly. So, it's funny, you just think, oh, he'll know. So, I mean, that's why everything looks so good. So, of course, he's a lighting director, so he had to put some lighting on it. And then the North Village, so we wanted to do these little canoes. So he gave me these canoes. And again, these are very high poly. So we checked this one out, and it's like 50,000 or something. It's like, okay, that's way too high. So here's our forest trees, the brood area south of the fountain, blasted valley, the geyser walk, what things are going to look like. And this is just what we're going to refer to from the real world. And but man, having those green pools are really going to make that different. And the whole idea is that when you get into these things, if you fly over them, you're going to be fine. But if you're going to walk through them, you're going to find that slows you down. Blasted valley. The Brood Fortress. So it's the concept. And then this is my concept of, what the things look like and how I think we could do it. So, and the idea is to have this pit in front and some sort of walkway that people can fall off into it. So it's got that fear factor. And so I want to make sure we included some things for the pit. So you can see the tail comes down here. That's where the entrance is. And here's the entrance up here. So yeah, it's somewhere like where I was saying. We'll figure all that out. Different elevations for it. The different puzzles. And away we go. And like I said, I think this is the one that, people can go and work with the enemy or whatever to open and unlock. So there we go. And then our puzzle descriptions for the Intrepid Pit. What the color codes mean. The notes I asked, that's for, if you want to put your own notes in, that's what that is for. And then the description and the objective for each. Okay, so I have I have Excalibur. Yeah, so this is the second map. And I don't have any textures on it, so I wasn't going to show it. So this is what Jeff showed last week. And I guess I need to say that I've got the latest version of Intrepid because I couldn't help myself. I did a bunch of work on it, like to the volcano and to the ramps and all that kind of stuff. And so we've got a t-shirt up on teespring.com, and we've got our poster, and you can go to teespring.com/store/iPlayMore, enter the code iPlayMore, and save $3. And all that will go directly to the development team to work on the game. And you can go hang out in our Discord. Here's the address here, and you can earn mana. This is what mana looks like. It's a real currency by being active in our Discord. And Discord will level you up as you chat. and record your mana earnings. And you can earn mana by being in my Twitch stream as well. So there you go. So make sure you go to iPlayMore.com and sign up for a video game test of Thunder. I'm going to turn my camera on. I totally forgot last week. And David was here and he didn't say a thing. It's all Henrique's fault because he wasn't here. Because he always tells me. So I'll wave hello. There we go. All right. So as time goes on, I'm going to do less and less here in Bear Isle. Bear Isle is just cramped. We've put everything. You can see our tests for shrines. We've put every test, everything that Henrique ever built, like the novel, all the learning stuff, it's all in here. And it just slows everything down. So that is that. So I'm going to do a little bit here today. I got to do Throne Wars here, Ultimate Throne Wars, because that's not quite, it's being declared in the new map, but it's not being won or lost. So we'll get to that for this next week. And I'm happy. I want to retire Bear Isle because it's just not very performant. And the new map with the new system is going to be so performant. All right. So we're going to work with the boys here. So as I was saying, you just walk up to the chest, opens up, your inventory is going to open. That's what we're going to do with that. There's also no pickup sounds in Intrepid yet, so got a lot of little things to work with. Alright, so we're going to capture this. And this is exactly how the game is. There's no waiting for players or 3, 2, 1 start. It's a surprise. Although, if you look at the screen, you can see on the bottom left, there's a little notice there that a throne's been captured. All right. So yeah, there's a little laggy. Of Thunder. Now our lead programmer to give me a test. I've ran the test, but I'm not sure exactly what to do after I've ran the test. Stronghold. So when you get a stronghold, you can see what's happened here. My device was maxed at 888 and now it's 1332. And it is self-generating energy. So if I'm not using it, great. But I can use it because it's a recoil device to move a little faster. And this is why we need to squeeze out every ounce of performance out of everything in our game. Textures, characters, everything. Because it is a fast-paced game and it needs to perform really, really well. And I'm very thankful for Zoran helping us to figure out how to do that. So let's just see here. So let's sting him. As soon as he explodes, I can take his throne. And if we go over to Balaam, we'll see he went way up in the middle of nowhere. So when you use the claw, such you see that the claw on his right arm. So when you use the claw and you right click, you push the enemy away. So let's just push Zach. So now he's capturing that back. King of Domination. Oh. So I'm going to whip across the map here as fast as I can because he's capturing. Oh yeah, that's not working properly. So it's supposed to put the throne out. I used to love to do this to my old development team. We'd be playing together. And they'd be trying to capture the throne. So that's supposed to stop. That throne's supposed to be out. Minor bug. So we're not updating the code on this map anymore. Yeah. There's nothing I can do. So I'm pushing T, I'm placing thrones. WASD. And they just, you teleport through anything. You don't have to worry about anything getting in your way. Oh, it won't go because the mountain's annoying. Okay, they go up a little bit. And anywhere you look, like if I want to go down, all right. So I'm just going to switch back over to Zach here. Yeah, see, this is all wrong because Zach already owns this. He had an empire. So this code is kind of, I don't know why code does that, but it breaks down after a while. Why am I switching back over? T, D, mouse. So he's going to place a bunch of different kind of thrones. So this map has all the audio in it. All the water, the birds. Not the bird models, just the audio. Oh, I'm like, where is he? There he is. So what's going to happen here when I get close enough? Ultimate Throne Wars is going to be declared right now. Watch my score. Now what's going to happen? It's going to hit enter here, so I'm flying. So you can just see the T there, and I'm going to usurp. Unless that code is working. Oh, there it goes. The king usurps brood. So what that means is I've taken over all his thrones. You can see that there's a blue line connecting all this. This throne is vulnerable. It's open. So my team might want to guard that. I can show vanishing in the next map now. So I can declare dominations. Turn off freedom.
Dominations.
So I've got throne powers, so that's my scepter in my left arm. I can attack by using F. You can see it's being damaged. Now, we're going to set that a little higher for full teams, but right now that's what it is. I think what's going to happen is there'll be a variable based on how many people are playing. So it's always the same. So that's one victory condition. And this is just our placeholder menu. Need to fix that. And then here is the thing. Is now you can just pick a character and load into the game again. So I shouldn't use the word load. There is no load. And just start playing the game again. So there we go. But we're done here for today. So I'm just gonna close this. I'm not gonna save. Gotta find. So I'm gonna get out of there and get into multiplayer. And load Intrepid. I will show banishing in Intrepid because now we got that working. It's not 100%, but it's good enough. It's so funny. Every day that the programmer sends in code, I'm like, oh man, this is great. I'll probably have no problems and have nothing to tell them, and then I end up with a page of things to fix. All right, so there we go. As you can see, all the water and stuff in there. I'm just going to change my camera speed here. Turn off my toolbar, game view, immersive view, and there we go. So there's my water systems I've done. So remember, there's no textures. These are all just placeholders. I guess there'd be textures on the water. So Henrique, I want you to go in and just look at all this stuff and make sure that it's performing. But you see, I got the pools in there, and I've mixed rivers and waterfalls to create this kind of thing there. I've changed the shape of this so the waterfalls are feeding it. And then there's this water feeding this. And this water looks totally different when you're playing than when you're in Spectator. I don't know why. Maybe somebody can figure that out. A river here. River from the snowpack coming down. Then the step waterfalls. Very cool idea. Wade came up with that idea. I love it. And then Wade changed all the shape. Yeah, it is looking really nice, isn't it? So... but let's make sure this is all performing great. And then look at this. So based on what Norn had said, although Norn had little tiny ones, and so I was just wanted bigger ones. And the other thing is I want a bigger one here because it's a secret behind the waterfall. So, whoops, I was in the... and then all these snowpacks, all of them, once we know where all the snow comes from, we'll have rivers feeding into the system. So there we go. A marmosets. Little tiny marmosets. You can see the marmoset right there. That's how big they are. Mind blown. So, and Wade did a great job. Look how unique all that beach is. So, it was just simple before, which I thought was alright, but it's kind of nice to know when you're walking down a place, everything's unique. So, and that's what we're trying to do with these maps in this game world. So this is where our cinematic is going to take place, our vertical slice and cinematic. So it's going to be nice because all this water, all of this is going to be kind of in the background, even the Kin castle, I guess. So we might have to get some pieces put in. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. All right, so let's. I don't know what else to do. Let's just play. Alt-P. And everything is so much faster and more performant here. So that we have a Suyel as kid. Now these Suyels are the old Suyel, and she's very small. So it's funny because when she goes up to the throne and stuff, it's so massive. But it's only because she's so tiny. And I know that because when you banish the character, you'll see, and the booty falls out. It's like way above her head. So I haven't made this one full screen yet, so let's just see if I can set this up. No. I think I gotta do that, yeah. That's what I gotta do. Alright, there we go. And Suyel Brood. Okay. And she can come up and capture that. So I got two miniature Suyels here. So let's not worry about sizing anything. Oh man, she's like she's drunk. Okay. So since Kin got in here first.
The Kin.
She's capturing. So that's a right click of my claw. Your claw is your base device.
Princess of Thunder.
Okay, that's not a proper announcement because they never captured their throne. So we got a little bug there. And of course the throne's...
Queen of Dominations.
Yeah, so the thrones, all this stuff is not going to be here. This is just for testing purposes. The fountain will be moved into the fountain once we have the Phoenix. And then, you know, that icon will be on top. This icon will be on the top of the Kin Castle. Of course, the thrones will be there.
The Kin.
Empress.
That crown looks like it's too low, right? 'Cause it shouldn't be over top of that. I mean, it works, but it should be higher. All right, so let's do banishing. I'm kind of glad I did things like I did because I just found another bug. Well, where's Suya? Holy moly! Oh, because I used the claw. So when you use... Hold on, I gotta just look at this. This looks like it just drops off. It doesn't, does it? No. Okay. Everything's gotta be ramped. So, go check out the... Shrines are working. And again, a note, I said to Maggie already, but a note for anybody doing vegetation and stuff, all of the shrines can go to stage 2 and stage 3, and stage 2 is quite big already. We don't know how big stage 3 is because we haven't built it yet, so we need to be cautious that we create a bunch of space around. Okay, so here she is. They're so small, they're hard to find. All right, so I'm going to banish her. So what do we want to use? We'll use blue today. Now, of course, the game's going to be a little more complicated because people are going to be avoiding it. For the sake of my stream, because there's only one of me. So I had Kang change that to 2 minutes, I think. It's supposed to be 8 minutes in the game. 8's pretty long. So you see now that my attack has changed. So it's gone from her blue shield. And when I shoot her now, I can see that it's her rare shield, her core shield. And the moment that's gone, she's banished. So you can see, look how big these things are. You can tell my character's very tiny. I mean, I can't even pick this stuff up. Oh, and no, there's no pickup sounds. That's the other thing, too. So, she should have had a couple of shields, though. So that seems to be missing, too. I was noticing that the booty when you banish an enemy is not everything. So there's another note. All right, so here's the enemy that just was banished. So they've been banished. So you can still look around. You can see what's happening in the map. You can see the enemy there. You're going to get a banish animation, and WASD doesn't work. You got to notice you've been banished. So as you click around trying to figure out what to do, spacebar doesn't work. But if you push your left mouse, you're banished to the pit. Now this is pretty hilarious because I did this up and I was stuck here when I was testing. So I'm glad I didn't do that for my stream. Okay, so first of all, you're going to notice that when you're banished to the pit, my jump is limited. So we'll go show that off first. Oh, whoops. Help if I know where I'm going. Okay, so my jump is limited to this. And then I pick up freedom. And freedom's not going to just be there. That would be a little bit stuck. Yeah, this should be the forever pit. That'd be hilarious. You've been banished forever. Please quit the game. Uninstall. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. All right. So let's go check out these holes. Now this pit's going to be much bigger than this. This is just a very simple starting point just for our cinematic. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. When I go back. Okay, so we can come in here. Oh, it leveled me up. The level up sound. I was trying to avoid doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to come out this way. So I've got devices, so now it makes sense to have the swap sound. But so look at the HUD. You can see that there's no image for this device. Oh, see, look at the bug. It's showing me all kinds of devices I don't got. Okay. Okay, so the spider will be on the wall somewhere or hanging by a web. And what is that, Henrique? I'm noticing that little... Is that a lighting issue or something? You see there's another one up here? All right. So if I push H, you can see I've got a little tiny bit, 17% of blue shield. I pick up this red shield. Those sounds aren't working. The programmer knows that. I got 15%. I can pick up a device. So these devices I'm picking up are empty. Okay, so this isn't exactly working properly. That's these items respawning. Oh, we got that interesting thing, I think. Maybe not. Okay, I'll just check into that. So you can see I'm maxed out at 44%. So now I can use return. Well, first of all, I can use freedom and I can fly. To where, I don't know. So we will have entrances and exits to the pit once we have the textures in. But I can use return. And I just respawn here. And I did put a little bit of freedom here. Hard to tell if I get it. Got no pickup sounds. Just using a recoil device to move myself faster. I opened this up a little bit too. This was really narrow. And that must have been Wade's doing because my old screenshot doesn't show that. Yeah, so all the tops of these trees are missing. So I put them back in. They're just all placeholders right now. Now, so H, my shields are capped at 44%. Now this is where I'm supposed to get the audio. We got a bug. But you can see now my shields are going to level up. So that's starting to work. There's no textures on this. Of course, there's no textures on the fortress either. And this is just a whole bunch of shapes and placeholders. It's what we call blocking. That's how the team wants to work, so that's what we've done. So those are going to be the volcanoes. Oh yeah, so let's do a little bit of the find. I kind of like this because that shrine there completely disappears behind the dune. I'm not seeing any shrine locks. We did have that working. Let's just check and see. That's part of what this stream is about too. Oh yeah, they're here. So here it is. So you're gonna watch me unlock this. Kin Empire. Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm Brood. Okay, that was correct. Except the colors, the kin is supposed to be. I believe the color was supposed to be blue. I have to think about that. So no lock here. And those shrines are nice. So we don't have the halo thing where you know, you haven't been shot for a while, so your health goes back up to full. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. That's just so crazy. So many games are copying that. It's just... pulling myself down with the recoil. There's nothing there. So, yeah, these are all empty. Not sure if that's working 100%, so I might have to do some more tests on that. Oh, I have to go back to that first one I went to? I think that's because it changed, so we don't have all that stuff working 100% yet. So you're saying it's here. Man, I love the movement in this game. Where you got so much speed and stuff, but you still don't have the kind of control. Henry, can you? Thank you. I have to do some tests on that, though. Oh, that means my device is empty. Yeah, there you go. And that's supposed to be done by a team of people, so I get a little distracted playing 2 characters and live streaming. And this is all the music for our game. There is also the Pygmy Marmoset huts there. And so I guess we have the texture system now in for that. So there we go. Why does she have a device through her head? Okay, so that's another little bug. I'm going to try moving her and see what happens. Oh, excuse me. I got a feeling it's on her head, isn't it? Suyel, you are a device head. It's not on her hand. You're right. And she wasn't banished. All right. So you can obviously wear devices on your head. No, you can't. Anyways, this is all new and we're working out the bugs. So there we go. Oh yeah, and there's another shrine down here. I forget about this one. You think I would know because I placed all these. And then we're going to have the access to the pit and all that kind of stuff. And enemies can use your shrines. Enemies can turn shrines into their shrines. Like, isn't that cool? I didn't do nothing. That is just moving. Anyways, man. So hopefully next week we might have some textures in. I gotta still figure out why the spawns are showing up. I think that's a C++ issue. I've mentioned to the programmer, he doesn't seem to realize what to do to fix it. Maybe he doesn't know what I'm talking about or whatever. But yeah, anyways, very happy. I'm glad I spent some time this morning. So what I did is I made the back side of the mountain thicker and then cut into this front side. Because it has to be kind of deep to do that. And the concept art is even deeper. Like it's more laid out, you know, at an angle. So anyways, but I think that's good enough. Shows it all. And it's very picturesque. Especially once we get textures and lighting in here. Man, this is going to look just absolutely amazing. Thank you for making this runnable, Henrique. So I'm not sure. I think we still might have to get a new version of this in here. One shot, 2 shots. That's the first thing my daughter asked. Do you have recoil in the game? The new game? I'm like, yep. So, I mean, games use recoil, but it usually just makes your gun move up. And when you're standing on the ground, it's a lot less recoil. If you turn on freedom, it's less. And then if I push forward while going back, or backwards while going forward, you can reduce the recoil. So it's a highly intelligent game. Yeah, a bit of a learning curve, but I love this idea, this open world idea. And we allow the players to move around very quickly. And then when they place thrones, and so now I've got lightning, so now my scepter's working. Oh, scepter's not burning though. And that's gonna so that's gonna end up slowing down the player. So, you know, I might miss a couple times, my buddies might hit, and that enemy's gonna come in and be slowed down. Oh, now my scepter's working. Oh, because it's lightning, not fire. Let's go place a fire. Oh, I missed, but I just want to see, is this going to light up? So I can change my scepters just by using the up. Oh, different kind of lightning. Yeah, that's working. Except it's not hitting the enemy like it should. Okay, when I push up, it's not continuing through the loop, so that is a bug. So I gotta push down again. There it is. It's on fire. I was wrong. So if I switch to this and I shoot, it shoots fire, and when I shoot, because it's got lightning on the HUD, automatically changes to lightning. So you don't have to fiddle with that stuff. I've tried to make this stuff as user-friendly as possible. So you got devices that you can shoot with devices in their face. No. And scepters, and then you can use both. You can use your both your left and right hand. But left only works if you're placing the thrones, and then they only work for 2 minutes and then they're out. So, but we instituted that because otherwise we'd have to put controls on the game, slow players down, and all that kind of stuff. So I really did not want to do that. I wanted to give you, the gamer, as much freedom that the game engine offers. So that's speed, freedom, movement, flight, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, see, the throne's now out, and that power is going to be gone. Where's the other throne? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, it's facing the right way. We had some thrones facing the wrong way before. I'm just trying to do everything I possibly can. So, but I'm just loving that snowpack running into a river, running into a waterfall. So this is going to be very picturesque, and we're going to get lots of views and shots from other views. So all this stuff won't be in here. It's all going to have to be moved to the appropriate area. See how small the character is? That's hilarious. So that's the kin character with the device. You place everything with sockets. So it must have just jumped to the wrong socket. So I honestly thought when we started making this map that we could just port everything over, but it's looking like we have to rebuild a lot of stuff, which kind of sucks. So just wondering why that's so sharp right there. I might want to deal with that. All right. So lots of bugs with the river tool too, so we might have to address that. But anyways, that's what we got. So I'm just going to push escape. We're done for today. And I just want to thank Kang for making it a lot less stuff comes up. It's so funny. Everybody installs the game and then they download it and they're like, oh, I get all these errors. But it's just when you first load the game, it's just because we're starting a new map here. But man, those mountains look gorgeous, don't they? All right, let's switch back over here. So make sure you go to iPlayMore.com, sign up for a video game test of Thunder. And this is going to be a week of changing gears for a number of reasons. Financing, moving from this startup unfunded to funded, stepping into our Scrum, increasing development, getting the vertical slice done, and getting the textures in and being able to show and tell, and then being able to go to all those wonderful funding sources I showed earlier and, kick this thing off. And there's more news, things that I have not said because there's no contract signed, but there's some really amazing things happening, like really amazing, like stuff I didn't count on, like just beyond things that's so good for this company and so good for this game. So just be thrilled for no reason until I can announce those things, but just be happy that these things are happening. So it's great. Anyways, it's VindaCator saying thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, and ring the bell and all that good stuff. And we will see you next week, same time, same place. And then once we get to multiplayer, I'm going to increase my streaming and I'm going to be playing our game a lot more. So that's it for today. So it's VindaCator saying thanks for watching. And I am